What if you spend your entire life, entire childhood in a dusty camp with fences around you, but no country to call your own? What if your parents fled violence decades ago and you were born into waiting for a home, waiting for rights, and waiting just to belong? This is not a fiction. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, more than 10 million people around the world are stateless. They live without nationality, without passport, and without protection. But today, we are not talking about all 10 million people. We are about to uncover the story of a particular group of people you have probably never heard of, even though they have lived in limbo for more than 40 years. They are called the Karen refugees, not to be confused with the Karens you see in the internet reel demanding refunds and flaunting privilege. These Karens have no privilege, no country, no passport, and often no voice. Stripped of their rights and forgotten by the government, they have spent generations on the margins, denied the basic dignity of belonging, and yet, in the face of silence and statelessness, they carry something the world cannot take: courage, pride, and unshakable will to survive. So, stay with me until the end, because by the time we are done, you won't just know who the Karen refugees are, you'll understand how their name came to be, what they have endured, and what their struggle teaches us about justice, injustice, resilience, and the fight to exist when the world looks away. Um, Before we dive deep into today's story, I want to take a moment to say thank you truly in my last video, Spirit of Philippines, which is, you can see right here, that's the thumbnail. If you haven't watched this video, you can go and watch this video now. This is a very small channel and it has gained 27 new subscribers in just 48 hours. Now I know that this might seem like nothing compared to the big creators on the YouTube out there, but for me, it means the world. This channel isn't built on fancy edits or studio teams, it's built on truth. There are no retakes, no polished cuts. I bring a raw line stories. These are straight live from my YouTube channel. While many other YouTubers rely on teams to record, research, and edit, their content is separately. They do everything completely different in different departments. I do it all by myself, from digging into difficult research to speaking directly into the camera with no second chance to correct myself. It's not easy and there are no shortcuts. But knowing that people like what you are watching, like I definitely, I can see from the views, people are liking the videos and listening to it and subscribing. That make every second worth on my YouTube channel. So to every viewer and every new subscriber, thank you for appreciating the efforts I put into these videos. As a small way of giving back, I'm running a giveaway. So far, 2 lucky commenters have already been picked up, and there are more giveaways coming up soon. So keep an eye on the comment section, keep commenting, and you might be the next winner. Your support means everything. Let's keep growing together. Now going back to our story, the word Karen isn't just a label. It comes from an ethnic group native to eastern Myanmar, particularly the region known as Karen State. For generations, the Karen people lived quietly in their homeland until violence, persecution, and civil war forced thousands of families to flee. When they crossed the border into Thailand seeking safety in makeshift camps, the international community and aid agency began referring to them as Karen refugees. It was a name meant to describe their displacement, but over time it came to carry something deeper: a history of struggle, loss, and survival. A name that reminds the world not just of who they are, but what they have been through. This is the Karen flag, but it's far more than just a piece of cloth. It stands as a powerful symbol for people without a country fearlessly holding on to their identity against all odds. The flag features three horizontal stripes, each carrying deep meaning. The red stripe at the top represents bravery and the blood spilled in their ongoing struggle for freedom. The white stripe is in the middle stands for purity, peace, and hope for a future where oppressions no longer defines their life. The blue stripe at the bottom symbolizes loyalty and the unity of the Karen people, no matter where in world they are. In the top left corner of the flag, you notice a rising drum known as a frog drum or Hatwa Mepa. Sorry if I'm not doing the pronunciation very well, which holds sacred meaning in Karen culture. Historically, this drum was used to bring communities together for celebrations, mourning, and important gatherings. On the flag, the drum represents more than just tradition. It's a powerful call to identity, a message to the world that says, we are still here. You may deny us a country, but you can never erase our history. Today, this flag flies proudly over refugees camps, community centers, and homes of Karen people worldwide, from the borderlands of Thailand and Myanmar to families resettled across the United States, Australia, and beyond. It is more than a flag. It is a proof of their existence, a reminder of their unwavering belief in peace, dignity, and hope for a place to call home. Let me take a moment over here to pause, and here I will ask you to do something bold. If you are or your family have ever experienced statelessness, it can be due to many different reasons. Like me, my daughter had to face it because my wife is a Malaysian, and my daughter won't get a Malaysian citizenship or a Malaysian passport. So if ever you lived somewhere you were never truly recognized, I invite you to share a story in the comments. Name your country, share that how it felt like, and because your voice matters. Too often these stories remain in the shadows, unheard and unseen. But by speaking out, you remind the world that behind every statics is a human life, a family, and a struggle for dignity. You never know who might read the story and find comfort, strength, or the courage to share their own. Once there was a fragile peace in Myanmar, Karen state, but after independence in 1948, that peace collapsed. Conflicts erupted between the Myanmar military, known as Tatmadaw, and Karen armed groups demanding autonomy. By the 1980s, the Tatmadaw shift strategy from attack and withdrawal to a brutal attack and hold approach. Karen villages were occupied, homes destroyed, and civilians forced to flee. Fearing violence, torture, and forced labor, the exodus began in 1984. By 1986, over 19,000 Karen refugees were scattered across 12 makeshift camps in Thailand. Today, that number has grown to roughly 200,000, living in 9 sprawling camps along the border. But Thailand doesn't officially recognize them as refugees, instead labeling them as displaced person. That one technicality has devastating consequences. Without Thai citizenship and often stripped of Myanmar too, these people become stateless. No country claims, then no ID, no legal protection, no right to educate, healthcare, work, or travel. Even something as basic as registration of birth or joining a sports team becomes impossible for them. Children born in these camps make their entire lives behind fences they never asked for, and as of 2024, the UNHCR documented at least 4.4 million statelessness people in 95 countries, but the real number is likely closer to 10 million. A third of them are children, meaning every few minutes a new life is born with no legal identity. Statelessness is not accidental, it's manufactured, often by design. Around the world, nations use discriminatory citizenship law, bureaucratic red tape, and deep-rooted ethnic prejudice to erase people's legal existence. In Myanmar, the 1982 citizenship law declared entire group, including the Rohingya and Karen, as foreigners in their own homeland. How does that feel? In Thailand, over 500,000 people, including Karen, Hmong, and Hill tribes, remain stateless due to missing birth records or ancestral documentations. In the Middle East, Kuwait denies citizenship to 100,000 Bedouin, while Lebanon leaves Dom, Bedouin, and Kurdish population unrecognized. In Ivory Coast, a million descendants of West African migrants are stateless due to law that defines nationality by ethnic origin. Even in Europe, countries like Estonia and Latvia have left behind over 200,000 stateless ethnic Russians since the collapse of the Soviet Union. But one of the most hidden cause of statelessness is gender discrimination. In Nepal and similarly in Iran, Lebanon, Kuwait, Qatar, Sudan, Somalia, Malaysia, and Brunei, only fathers can pass on nationality by birth. If a child's father is foreign, missing, or unknown, the child is often left stateless. That's what happened to my daughter. These are not accidental loopholes, they are policy choices, and for millions of people, those choices have denied them a place in the world. The Karen refugees have lived in state of limbo since the 1980s, over 4 decades of displacement without citizenship from either Myanmar or Thailand. Despite the years, no government has stepped forward to offer them a nation to call their own. While aid trickles in through agencies like UNHCR and various NGOs, that real backbone of support comes from organizations such as Thailand-Burma Border Consortium, TBBC, and the Karen Refugees Committee, KRC, which oversees camp operations. Yet even with this external assistance, it is the refugees themselves who shoulder most responsibilities, organizing daily life, managing internal system, and holding their community together. Human rights groups like the Karen Human Rights Group KHRG continue to document abuses, but their reports are rarely led to justice. And still, amid the hardships, something extraordinary has emerged. These camps have evolved into functioning communities. Schools were built, weaving workshops flourished, women rose as leaders, children born into exile grew up learning resilience and self-governance. The Karen people preserved their language, their customs, and their sense of identity, not through borders or papers, but through culture, dignity, and unyielding persistence. Their story is not just of loss, it is a testament to the unbreakable will to survive with purpose even when the world has turned away. Now, helping refugees like the Karen requires more than sympathy. It demands structural change and political courage. First and foremost, state must formally recognize refugees and provide legal status. While not simple, this recognition is the foundation of any long-term solution and must be streamlined into clear, accessible processes. Equally crucial is allowing birth registration and creating genuine pathways to citizenship so that children born in the camps are not condemned to statelessness before they can even speak. Many countries have yet to ratify or implement the 1954 and 1961 statelessness conventions, international agreements designed specifically to address this crisis. And doing so will be a vital step towards systematic reform. Governments must also collaborate with UNHCR and grassroots organizations that work directly with stateless populations, supporting integration instead of isolation. Meanwhile, international donors and NGOs can make a tangible difference by investing in education, healthcare, legal assistance, and advocacy tools that empower rather than just sustain. Above all, host countries must treat refugees with humanity and dignity, not as threats to security or burdens on resources, but as people with potential and the right to belong. Uh, this is what needs to be done for the refugees. Now, if this story moved you even just a little bit, help share it so more people learn their name, the Karen refugees. Hit the like button if their resilience inspired you, and subscribe to the channel where I bring you raw, unfiltered stories live with no edits, no scripts, just real people and real struggle. I don't have a team behind me or behind the camera. I'm in the field sharing truth that often go unheard. Your support means everything to me. It fuels this mission. Until the next video, stay human, stay curious, and above all, stay kind.